Everybody loves Katsura Maple. Look at those lovely reds, the deep corally red colour. These were air layers off one tree, and there's loads of videos about it. But let's be honest, what you really want to know is what on earth I'm going to be doing with these two next. And what on earth it has to do with that, you'll have to wait and see. Hi, it's Xavier. Welcome to my bonsai retreat. And yep, sure enough, the two Katsura Airlayer maples, which were part of a bigger project that Yellow of Growing Bonsai kindly helped me with last year. If you want to see the video it refers to, then have a look in the description. There's 2 or 3 videos about this big Katsura. In fact, I got it way back in 2015, I think, with my wife Zita, God rest her soul, before she died. And we did some air layers, put them in these pond baskets, and I think they were left pretty untouched last year. And for those who've watched my channel, well, you know the answer. What does this have to do with it, this leggy, horrible hawthorn? Well, actually, the tree's got nothing to do with it. But I'm hoping the pot may work out perfectly as a sort of cascade, semi-cascade style for this, which was the original inspiration from Yellow. So, let's crack on and get it out. Now, before I actually get that one out of the pond basket, I did mention that there was a second one, and this is the other part of it. And truthfully, depending on what roots I find in that first pond basket, the high probability is that this is going to stay put. It's going to continue to hopefully develop loads and loads of lovely roots. So all I need to do really is give it a bit of a weed and do one other thing, and it has everything to do with this place just here, where I need to really get the process of wound healing started. But more of that later. Now, truthfully, this doesn't need a repot. The pot is certainly not overflowing with roots coming out the side, and in many ways, probably the best thing for something like this, where you're trying to get a lot of root development, is to leave it put. The reason why I want to move it is because I actually want to start the development of the Cascade section, and I also want to make sure that the roots that develop in the plane that I need for this particular creation design. So that is one of the reasons why I'm actually doing the repot on this. The tree itself right now doesn't need it, but I want to set it in the shape that I need it for its future cascade design. And hey, Mr. Doggy there in the background, barking away full of agreement. And I just held it down with a little wire there. Okay. I imagine I should be able to just lift. Should make sure that wire isn't through the bottom. We've got some roots there that show that there's got roots coming through the base, which is good. Let's just encourage this. And actually, looking at that, that's really encouraging. A nice set of roots down there, so that's good. And you can tell that it's bonsai filming season, because I can hear the jet washing going on. So I apologise for that background sound. See the soil I've used? Certainly got loads and loads of nice roots growing there. I don't think I've looked at it since separating the air layer, so it'll be interesting to see just how easy this is going to be to take it into the cascade. We've got some pretty hard roots there, and that's the reason, one of the reasons that I want to get on with this process now, because once those roots start hardening, then you've got another set of problems to deal with. But yeah, look, this is lovely. So let me continue to just tease these out. And the good thing about maple is they're pretty hardy, and when you do root pruning on them, if they're healthy, they will gosh, that's a nice big chunky one there. They will revitalize and send out new stuff quite quickly. And that works out well, I think, for cascade style, which means we might actually be able to lose this top half. Anyway, I'll continue to do that. I'm going to wash these out and come back to you. Well, washing it out, I'm really quite happy with the root setup we've got there. We've got one or two that are going all the way round, but bearing in mind this is going to be a cascade, so I'm not actually looking at that classic nice sort of cartwheel root flare on this. It's got to sit like that, so actually I'm going to get a good depth of roots there. What I can do is probably remove one or two at the top. So yeah, let's do that. That'll sit there, and perhaps that one there. We've got a little bit of length on some of these. We'll go down into the pot, but certainly I don't need that great big bit there. And the good thing about that is when you actually cut the ends off these roots, what it actually does is it encourages the tree to send out new fibrous roots at those cut sites. So all good. Okay, so don't need to go to town. We've got a big crossing one here, but I'm really not worried. We've got this here we can get rid of. That's the original site where the Airlayer went on. Get rid of it. Always be careful when you do things like that. You never know if you're going to take too much. And I suppose the question is it actually going to look all right in there? And if you want to know what happened to the hawthorn, you'll find out that in a minute. There we go. That's how it's going to look. Let's crack on. Now, in terms of securing this, if you look at the base, it's a single base, and what we use is what I call a bridge. So we've just got that small hole there. I do want to be able to secure that because it is going to be on a cascade. So by creating this bridge, all I'll do and then as I tighten, it tightens up against the base, and that will keep it secure. So we'll get some soil in there, and this is my usual sort of 4mm pumice, zeolite. I think there's a bit of acadama as well, and definitely some bone meal in there. And all we need to do is get that wired in nicely in the right place in there. So we'll take our maple, lovely big thick roots there, and the key thing here to remember is you want to try and get that angle just right so that it doesn't also bang in on the lip of the pot. So, and also so we give our pad levels coming out on the horizontal there. Don't think that's too bad. I probably want it to be a little bit higher out. So while I get this firmly fixed into place, secured, I'll let you go and make a cup of coffee. See you in a minute. Okay, well there you go. Cascade's coming down. Now this was never, because it hasn't been designed as a cascade from the start, if you look at it, there's some clear things that make it different or probably detract from the eye. But this was certainly what inspired Yellow when he first saw that Katsura. And this is what inspired him to say, let's get it down from a cascade. I've got the ability in the end to cut back some of these so that I can actually grow out these pads as necessary to create that better feeling for a cascade. We've got this lovely pad up here which is going to make the crown. And overall, I think it suits the pot. I think if we go the other way, you can see, perhaps not so attractive that way. Don't know, you tell me. Yeah, so it's ongoing, but it's important. I had to get it into that pot because those roots will fix in a position now so that they'll sit in there. And it may well be that this pot won't be the final one. I may get something a little bit more interesting, but for those of you who don't know, this is my favourite potter. It's Dawn Isaac. So it's a Dawn Isaac ceramic, and the link is always for her pots is in the description of my videos. So there it is. Hopefully you can see it reasonably well. Managed to find a little bit of scraggly moss there which I've put in there, and I'm going to let these now flush out, and probably I've got a few little things I can sort out here. Got a big stub there I can get rid of. But basically, there's another little stub there. I'm happy. Ooh. Just going to go around, just take off a few little tips and edges, stuff that I don't want growth from. But you know what? This video isn't about pruning. This video is about the repot of that Katsura maple into a Cascade. Yella of growing bonsai, cheers for that. That idea worked out fine. So there's only one thing left to do actually. We need to get this into the bonsai database, stroke bonsai app. You all know who've got it. It's brilliant and it's free. Just send me an email. All I need to do is make sure I update it. So we whack open the database. It's Microsoft Access. I use 2016. And I need to put in there that the reason why I've done the repot there is taking off a load of roots, and let's have a look and see where it is. There it is, the Katsura Cascade, and update the fact that we've done the repot. Probably looking at doing a repot in another 2, maybe 3 years, depending on what sort of development we get, and then that's the reminder for that, which we can bring up in a couple of years' time. And of course we do need to update the picture. So the picture again I've got in a separate file, and now as you see there, the picture has been updated. So that Katsura Cascade is all ready for reminders, which will probably for this one come out later in the year. Who wants to know what happened to that hawthorn? Well, let's go and find out, shall we? I just changed the angle a little bit, so we've actually got this movement slowly going off here, got all this growth here. Haven't done anything much with the roots, just banged it into this, which is obviously where that Cascade maple was sitting originally. And I think I can see something growing from here, and in light of that, probably I don't need all this coming off this way. There's a lovely bud here I'd really like to see work for me. Probably want that one there. I'm actually just going to cut there. In truth, well, the first visible buds here, I want something a bit further. I really want that bud actually. So shall we just bite the bullet and do that? Well, have to really, I've just done it. And again, if you see it from that angle, the eventual tree could actually be all the way up there and following up here. And suddenly, I don't know why on earth I put it in that Cascade pot, it never ever looked good, it looked ridiculous. Suddenly we've got something with a little bit of movement that, again, over a number of years, I think you're going to see this turn into something quite spectacular. So that really only leaves us one more of the Katsuras, and I think we're done for today. Actually, there's not an awful lot I'm going to be doing with that. Just cleared up some nubs and stubs. I've had a little look under the surface. The roots are actually quite high up on this, so I can imagine this is going to end up being quite a shallow or low branched clump. But needless to say, very, very healthy, lots of buds all over it. This is going to be subject of a special that I'm doing this year, and it's all about perhaps the difficulties or the importance of good, decent wound healing. I want this to throw out loads of leaves and everything first, but then I'm going to be pulling away all the old cut paste, and I'm going to start doing some wound healing, not only on this one, but on several other maples, and we're going to observe the process probably over the course of a year. So the next time you'll see this will be in relation to wound healing your Japanese maples. If that's going to appeal to you, hit the old ding ding and subscribe button. Otherwise, I'm looking forward to the first flush of spring when we see these beautiful Japanese maple leaves come out. But I'm not going to make you wait that long. It's 3.5, 4 weeks later, and look, those Katsura maple leaves are out, and there's that beautiful orange and red glow about them that makes this probably one of my favourite maple species for bonsai. Don't you just love those leaves? Still a long way to go with the actual bonsai, but wow, I'm going to enjoy this challenge. So as we said, next time we see this is all about wound healing, but that will be a long project. Should we go and have a look at the Cascade while we're enjoying these beautiful leaves? I'm not disappointed. Wow, that is that is going to be beautiful. And I actually love the way it's sitting right now. Loads of growth still to come. I really want these pads to extend, and but no, it's set up. I think it's fantastic. So big thumbs up. Thanks very much, Yellow. It was a great idea. And really, all I need to do is point you to the video where all this inspiration came from. You need to watch that. Yellow's in it, so it's going to be great. Apart from that, happy bonsaiing. Enjoy your maples. God bless. Cheers.